Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, August 21st, 2023. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's baseball, FIFA, other soccer, WNBA, NFL preseason, look ahead to everything today. We have golf and NASCAR to talk about from the weekend too. NFL tight end rankings today, news and notes, and best bet. We're going to start with baseball. We will go over the results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to everything going on today. So Friday, Royals over the Cubs 4-3, so best bet lost. Doubleheader game 1, Tigers over the Guardians 4-2. Reds over the Blue Jays 1-0. Nationals over the Phillies 8-7. Red Sox over the Yankees 8-3. Braves over the Giants 4-0. Doubleheader game 2, Guardians over the Tigers 4-1. Brewers over the Rangers 9-8. Twins over the Pirates 5-1. Mariners over the Astros 2-0. Mets over the Cardinals 7-1. Rockies over the White Sox 14-1. Rays over the Angels 9-6-10. Orioles over the A's 9-4. Padres over the D-backs 4-0. And the Marlins over the Dodgers 11-3. Saturday, Red Sox over the Yankees 8-1. Cubs over the Royals 6-4. Doubleheader game 1, Dodgers over the Marlins 3-1. Doubleheader game 1, D-backs over the Padres 6-4. Brewers over the Rangers 6-1. Phils over the Nats 12-3. Doubleheader game 1, Angels over the Rays 7-6. Jays over the Reds 4-3. Tigers over the Guardians 4-3. Pirates over the Twins 7-4. Mariners over the Astros 10-3. Mets over the Cardinals 13-2. Braves over the Giants 6-5. White Sox lose to the Rockies 11-5. Doubleheader game 2. D-backs over the Padres 8-1. O's over the A's 7-2-10. Doubleheader game 2. Rays over the Angels 18-4. Doubleheader game 2. Dodgers over the Marlins 3-1. Sunday, Mariners over the Astros 7-6. Giants over the Braves 4-3. Red Sox over the Yanks 6-5. Tigers over the Guardians 4-1. Blue Jays over the Reds 10-3. Twins over the Pirates 2-0. Cards over the Mets 7-3. Cubs over the Royals 4-3. Brewers over the Rangers 6-2. White Sox over the Rockies 10-5. O's over the A's 12-1. And the Little League Classic on Sunday Night Baseball, the Nationals over the Phillies 4-3. All right, smaller window today. Looks like it's 10 games. So 6:30, you have the Cubs at the Tigers. Javier Assad and Alex Fado. Very interesting game. The Cubs making a push for the playoffs. So that's important for them. They're minus 120 favorites. The Tigers are plus 104 over under 9. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Cubs minus 1/2 is plus 130. Tigers plus 1/2 is minus 156. I like the under. Assad's been pretty good. Tigers offense, not good. Giants, Phillies. Scott Alexander and Aaron Nola. Phillies minus 158. Giants plus 134 over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Giants plus 1/2 is minus 152. Phillies minus 1/2 is plus 126. I like full game over in that one. 7 o'clock, Cardinals, Pirates. Drew Rahm making his debut for the Cardinals against Bailey Falter. Cards minus 126. Pittsburgh plus 108 over under 10.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Cards minus 1/2 is plus 125. Pirates plus 1/2 is minus 150. I'm going to take the Pirates because of the unknown with St. Louis's pitcher. So I'm going to take the Pirates at plus 108. Mets Braves at 720. David Peterson and Alan Winans. Braves minus 205. Mets plus 172 over under 10.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Mets plus 1/2 is minus 110. Same with the Braves minus 1.5. Over, but I don't feel strong about it though. Red Sox Astros at 8. James Paxton and Christian Javier. Astros minus 126. Boston plus 108 over under 9. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Red Sox plus 1/2 is minus 184. Astros minus 1/2 is plus 152. That's a tough one. Javier has not been very good this season by his standards and how he is perceived. But I do like Astros over 4.5 runs at minus 102. They can tee off James Paxton. Fox Sports 1, Mariners White Sox. So the Mariners get a nationally televised game. Luis Castillo against Touki Toussaint. Mariners minus 188. White Sox plus 158 over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. M's -1, F -114. White Sox +1/2 is -105. I'm going to lay the run line with the Mariners -1/2 and -114. 9:30 Reds Angels. Graham Ashcraft and Lucas Giolito. Angels -138. Reds +118. Over under 9 -110 each way. Reds +1/2 is -178. Angels -1/2 is +146. Over, don't feel good about it. Royals A's. Tucker Davidson and Paul Blackburn, so the battle of the two worst teams in the conference. A's -134, Royals +116, over under 8.5, overs -102, unders -120. Royals +1/2 is -178, A's -1/2 is +146. I like full game over. Rangers D-backs, interesting game. Jordan Montgomery and Slade Sassoni. Texas -164. D-backs +138, over under 9.5. Overs even money, unders -132. Texas -1/2 is -105. D-backs +1/2 is -114. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks on the run line, +1/2 and -104. I think this is going or -114. I think it's going to be a close game. And last but not least, Marlins Padres, Ryan Weathers and Michael Wacha. So Ryan Weathers against his old team, ironically enough. Padres -205, Marlins +172, over under 8.5, -110 each way. Marlins +1/2 is -128. Padres -1/2 is +106. Michael Wacha has actually been really, really good for the Padres this year. But I do like full game over for this game. All right, FIFA. We have 2 games to talk about. The third place match and the championship, obviously. The third place game, Sweden defeats Australia 2-0. Sweden's goals were scored by Fridolina Rolfo on a penalty kick and Kosovari Aslane in the 62nd minute. And then the final, Spain defeats England 1-0 to win the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Congrats to Spain, well deserved. The goal was scored in the 29th minute by Olga Carmona. And then Spain held on the rest of the way. They dominated possession. They had more shots on goal. They deserved to win this game, so congrats to Spain. I picked Spain to win the game. And I believe I picked Sweden to win the third place game too. So the FIFA Women's World Cup comes to an end. It was a good World Cup. USA was a disappointment. But we'll see what goes from here with Team USA with their coach resigning and whatnot. All right, now we'll talk about other soccer. We will start with Leagues Cup, which came to an end over the weekend. Third place game, the Philadelphia Union knock off Monterrey 3-0. So the Union salvage the terrible loss against Miami with third place finish and defeats Monterrey. And then Inter Miami, Nashville 1-1 draw, but Miami wins 10-9 on penalties. Messi was amazing. He scored the winner. He scored the first goal for Miami as Miami wins 2023 Leagues Cup. Look out for Miami. I think they're going to push for that last playoff spot in the East. And they might win the rest of their games going the rest of the way. They can do it. If anybody can do it, it's them. All right, we had MLS over the weekend. And that was on Sunday. Columbus over Cincinnati 3-0. Minnesota over NYCFC 2-0. Red Bulls over DC United 1-0. CF Montreal over Toronto 3-2. Orlando over Chicago 3-1. Houston over Portland 5-0. St. Louis over Austin 6-3. Atlanta over Seattle 2-0. And San Jose over Vancouver 1-0. Miami Charlotte postponed. And I believe Salt Lake and Philly were supposed to play, and that got postponed, obviously, as well. We have a game on Wednesday, so we got to remember that for the show. USL, Friday night, Tampa over Tulsa 2-1. Saturday, Birmingham over Louisville 2-0. Miami over Hartford 3-0. Detroit over Vegas 1-0. Sacramento over Loudoun 3-1. Rio Grande over Phoenix 1-0. San Antonio Monterrey Bay 0-0 draw. Indy over El Paso 3-2. San Diego, New Mexico 2-2 draw. Colorado over Oakland 3-2. And Orange County over Charleston 2-0. And we have USL on Wednesday too. We have 4 games, but we got to remember that for the show on Wednesday. All right, German Bundesliga from the weekend. That began Bayern over Bremen 4-0. Saturday, Leverkusen over RP Leipzig 3-2. Augsburg, Gladbach 4-4 draw. Freiburg over Hoffenheim 2-1. Stuttgart over Bochum 5-0. Wolfsburg over Heidenheim 2-0. And Dortmund over Cologne 1-0. Sunday, Union Berlin over Mainz 4-1. And Frankfurt over Darmstadt 1-0. Dutch Era Devise from the weekend. Friday, Heracles over NEC 2-1. Saturday, Excelsior Ajax 2-2 draw. PSV over Vitesse 3-1. Fortuna over Almere City 2-1. Go Ahead Eagles over FC Volendam 4-1. And then Sunday, Heerenveen over FC Utrecht 2-0. FC Twente over PEC Zwolle 3-1. Sparta Feyenoord 2-2 draw. And RKC Waldwick loses to AC Alkmaar 3-1. French League 1 from the weekend. Friday, Metz and Marseille 2-2 draw. Saturday, Montpellier over Lyon 4-1. And Toulouse PSG 1-1 draw. Sunday, Lille over Nantes 2-1. Brest over Le Havre AC 2-1. Laurent Nice 1-1 draw. Reims over Clermont-Foot 2-0. Monaco over Strasbourg 3-0. And Lens and Rennes 1-1 draw. English Premier League. Friday, Nottingham Forest over Sheffield United 2-1. Saturday, Brentford over Fulham 3-0. Liverpool over Bournemouth 3-1. Brighton over Wolves 4-1. Tottenham over Man United 2-0. So, big win for Tottenham. Man City over Newcastle 1-0. And Luton Burnley postponed. Sunday, Aston Villa over Everton 4-0. And West Ham over Chelsea 3-1. And then today at 3 o'clock, we have Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Should be an interesting game. Arsenal's minus 135. Crystal Palace is plus 370. The draw is plus 270. Arsenal should win going away. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 112. La Liga from the weekend. Friday, Villarreal over Mallorca 1-0. Valencia over Las Palmas 1-0. Saturday, Real Sociedad over Celta Vigo. That was a 1-1 draw. Real Madrid over Almeria 3-1. Athletic over Osasuna 2-0. Sunday, Girona over Getafe 3-0. Barcelona over Cadiz 2-0. And Betis Atletico 0-0 draw. Monday, 1 o'clock, you have Alaves and Sevilla, which is today, obviously. Sevilla plus 125. Alaves plus 250. The draw is 2-1. So I'm gonna go with the draw at 2-1. And at 3:30 of Granada and Rayo. Granada plus 160, Rayo plus 190, draws 2-1. This is another pretty hard call. I'm gonna go with another draw at 2-1. And Serie A from the weekend. Saturday, Verona over Empoli 1-0. Napoli over Frosinone 3-1. Fiorentina over Genoa 4-1. Inter Milan over Monza 2-0. Sunday, AS Roma Salernitana 2-2 draw. Atalanta over Sassuolo 2-0. Lecce over Lazio 2-1. And Juventus over Udinese 3-0. And then 12:30 of Torino and Cagliari. Torino minus 165. Cagliari plus 480 to draw, plus 270. This is an interesting one. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at plus 122. And 245, you have Bologna and Milan. Milan's minus 110. Bologna is 3-1. The draw is plus 240. I'm going to go with Milan here at minus 110 on the road. Okay, now we'll move on to the WNBA. We'll go over all the notable results from the weekend. No games today. Friday, Liberty over the Mercury, 85-63. Wings over the Sun, 95-75. Mystics over the Fever, 83-79. Dream over the Sky, 78-67. The Lynx over the Storm, 78-70. Saturday, the Sparks upset the Aces, 78-72, which was a shocker. Sunday, Wings over the Mystics, 97-84. Sun over the Sky, 79-73. Fever over the Mercury's, 83-73. And the Storm over the Lynx, 88-74. So, we only got a couple of weeks left of the regular season as that comes to an end the day the NFL starts on September 10th. So, less than 3 weeks away till the end of the WNBA regular season. Okay, now move on to the NFL preseason from the weekend. A lot of results to talk about. And we have a preseason game tonight, guys. How exciting is that for a Monday? And we have big news to talk about in news and notes regarding Monday Night Football. So we'll get into that then. So Friday, Giants over the Panthers 21-19. Bengals, Falcons 13-13 tie. Saturday, Jaguars over the Lions 25-7. Dolphins over the Texans 28-3. Steelers over the Bills 27-15. Colts over the Bears. I almost said the Bruins for some reason. 24-17. Bucks over the Jets 13-6. Chiefs over the Cardinals 38-10. Titans over the Vikings 24-16. Patriots over the Packers 21-17. 49ers over the Broncos 21-20. Raiders over the Rams 34-17. Seahawks over the Cowboys 22-14. And then on Sunday, the Saints beat the Chargers 22-17. And then 8 o'clock on ESPN tonight, you have the Ravens and the Commanders Monday Night Football preseason edition. I do not think we'll see Joe Buck and Troy Aikman tonight. I think it'll be the backup team like Steve Levy and that whole group. Booger McFarland. So I think that's who we'll see tonight calling the game. The Ravens are giving 1.5 points. Total 37.5. I think we'll see a little bit of the Raven guys. And we'll see some of the Commander guys. I think we'll see a lot of Sam Howell today. We'll see how he looks. Both teams have good quarterback rooms. I kind of like the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points for a preseason game. So I'm going to go over 37.5 between the Ravens and the Commanders. All right, now move on to golf. We will go over the results from the BMW Championship. It was pretty interesting as your winner with a score of 17 under, Victor Hovland. Tied for second with a score of 15 under, Matt Fitzpatrick and Scotty Scheffler. Fourth place with 12 under, Rory McIlroy. Tied for fifth with 11 under, Max Homa and Brian Harman. Seventh with 10 under, Sanjay M. Tied for eighth with 9 under, Xander Schauffele, Ryan Henley. Tied for 10th with 7 under, Adam Putnam, Dylan McCarthy, Carl Connors, Tom Kinn, Harry English. Tied for 15th with 6 under, Adam Svensson, Cleglia, Patrick Cantlay, Cam Young, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Taylor Hogue is 21st with 5 under. Tied for 22nd with 4 under, JT Potts, Justin Rose. Lucas Glover tied for 23rd with 3 under, Tommy Fleetwood, Eric Cole, Colin Morikawa, Ricky Fowler, Chris Kirk, Keegan Bradley. By the way, Kirk and Bradley tied for 29th with 2 under. Tied for 31st and even, Emiliano Grillo, Siwoo Kim, John Rahm. Tied for 34th with 1 over, Jordan Spieth, Adam Schenk, Tyrell Hatton. Tied for 37th with 2 over, Tony Finau, Patrick Rodgers, Steph Straka. 40th with 3 over, Cam Davis. Tied for 41st with 4 over, Kurt Katayama and Brendan Todd. 43rd with 5 over, Ben Ganon. 44th with 6 over, Adam Hadwin. Tied for 45th with 7 over, Lucas Hodges and Jason Day. 47th with 10 over, Nate Taylor. 48th with 14 over, Seamus Power. 49th with 18 over, Taylor Morton, withdrawing from the competition, Hideki Matsuyama. Next up is the Tour Championship next weekend from East Lake Golf Course in Atlanta, so it should be a fun tournament. And then after that, we have a little bit of a downtime in golf after the Tour Championship. So we're looking forward to this upcoming golf tournament in Atlanta. Okay, now let's go on the NASCAR. We'll discuss the results from the weekend. Xfinity from the Glen coming in first with Sam Meyer. Coming in second is Sheldon Creed. Third, Parker Kligerman. Fourth, Ross Chastain. Fifth, Connor Bozak. Sixth, John Hunter Nemechek. Seventh, Cole Custer. Eighth, Chandler Smith. Ninth, Alex Bowman. 10th, Jeb Burton. The rest, Brandon Jones, Brendan Poole, Kyle Wethmerlin, Austin Hill, Saja Karam, Justin Allgaier, Ty Gibbs, Sammy Smith, Kyle Sieg, Josh Berry, Ryan Sieg, Joe Graff Jr., Daniel Hemrick, Alex Labbe, Josh Belicki, Parker Retzlaff, Kyle Busch, Kaz Gralla, Brett Moffitt, Ryan Ellis, Anthony Alfredo, Stanton Barrett, Stephon Parsons, Max McLaughlin, Riley Herbst, Josh Williams, Jeremy Clements, and Blaine Perkins. And the Cup Series from the Glen, the winner, William Byron, coming in second. Denny Hamlin, third. Chris Bell, fourth. A.J. Allmendinger, fifth. Ty Gibbs, sixth. Martin Truex Jr., seventh. Chris Buescher, eighth. Tyler Reddick, ninth. Ryan Blaney, 10th. Joey Logano, the rest. Todd Gilliland, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, Mike Rockenfeller, Corey LaJoie, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Justin Haley, Alex Lawley, Kyle Larson, Josh Belicki, Cole Custer, Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon, Chase Briscoe, and Michael McDowell. All right, now we'll do our tight end rankings for the year. So Friday we did wide receivers, Thursday was running backs, and Wednesday was quarterbacks. So this week will be the different offensive line positions, today's tight ends, and I believe I'm doing defensive tackles on Friday. So stay tuned for that. So without further ado, the 2023 NFL tight end rankings. 64, Hunter Long, Rams. 63, Colt Kieft, Buccaneers. 62, Charlie Warner, 49ers. 61, Jack Stoll, Eagles. 60, Zach Gentry, Steelers. 59, Brock Wright, Lions. 58, Ian Thomas, Panthers. 57, Trevon Wesco, Titans. 56, Josh Oliver, Vikings. 55, Eric Saubert, Dolphins. 54, Tegan Quinterano, Texans. 53, John Bates, Commanders. 52, Noah Gray, Chiefs. 51, Trey McBride, Cardinals. 50, Luke Farrell, Jaguars. 49, Donald Parham Jr., Chargers. 48, Drew Sample, Bengals. 47, Durham Smith, Dolphins. 46, Jordan Akins, Browns. 45, Isaiah Likely, Ravens. 44, Kate Otten, Buccaneers. 43, Tucker Kraft, Packers. 42, Luke Schoonmaker, Cowboys. 41, Sam Laporta, Lions. 40, Luke Musgrave, Packers. 39, Foster Moreau, Saints. 38, Jake Ferguson, Cowboys. 37, Adam Trotman, Broncos. 36, CJ Uzomah, Jets. 35, Juwan Johnson, Saints. 34, Robert Tonyan, Bears. 33, Greg Dulcich, Broncos. 32, Tyler Conklin, Jets. 31, Jonnu Smith, Falcons. 30, Logan Thomas, Commanders. 29, Mo Alley Cox, Colts. 28, Will Dissly, Seahawks. 27, Dalton Kincaid, Bills. 26, Michael Mayer, Raiders. 25, Daniel Bellinger, Giants. 24, Jelani Woods, Colts. 23, Hayden Hurst, Panthers. 22, Chigoziem Okonkwo, Titans. 21, Dalton Schultz, Texans. 20, Dawson Knox, Bills. 19, Tyler Higbee, Rams. 18, Evan Engram, Jaguars. 17, Austin Hooper, Raiders. 16, Cole Kmet, Bears. 15, Noah Fant, Seahawks. 14, Gerald Everett, Chargers. 13, Mike Gesicki, Patriots. 12, Herb Smith Jr., Bengals. 11, Zach Ertz, Cardinals. 10, Pat Freiermuth, Steelers. 9, David Njoku, Browns. 8, Hunter Henry, Patriots. 7, Kyle Pitts, Falcons. 6, TJ Hawkinson, Vikings. 5, Darren Waller, Giants. 4, Mark Andrews, Ravens. 3, Dallas Goedert, Eagles. 2, George Kittle, 49ers. And, of course, number 1, Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Travis Kelce is going to be number 1 on this list until he retires. He is so good. probably the best tight end I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I can't believe I'm saying that because of how good Gronk was. And I've seen other great tight ends over the years as well. Kittle, to me, is an easy number 2, but Goddard is sneaking up. Goddard was awesome on Philly last year. Mark Andrews was in the top 3. I booted him because of injury issues he's had. Waller, he looks healthy in training camp. He'll be big for Daniel Jones this year. Hawkinson, you could argue, should be ahead of Waller. But I just think that Hawkinson won't be relied on as much as Waller. Although you could argue Hawkinson will be relied on. But the Giants, I trust Darren Waller more than their receivers. Obviously, the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. So, Hawkinson, you could argue because of Justin Jefferson, his stats will be down. But at the same time, you can make a case that he'll have big fantasy days because of the opposing teams defending Jefferson. Pitts is interesting. He's only scored 3 career NFL touchdowns, and that's not acceptable for a high pick like that when the Falcons took him that high several years ago. Hunter Henry, I think, will have a big year on the Patriots, and Njoku's getting better every year. Freiermuth, I think, is the tight end on the rise. Zach Ertz, I think, is going to be on a different team in a couple of months from now. Irv Smith Jr. is coming off a torn ACL. So there's a lot of decent tight ends in here, but I personally feel the top 4 is set in stone. 5 and 6 you can flip-flop. I think anywhere from 7 to 10 you could mix and match too. And even guys 11, 12, you could go all the way down to even Cole Kmet on the Bears or Austin Hooper of the Raiders. You could make a case in like that kind of order. And then Engram had a nice year on Jacksonville last year. So tight end isn't a bad position as a whole. All right, now we move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to get to from the weekend. We're going to go rapid fire style. So, Sergino Dest joins PSV on loan as he becomes the 3rd U.S. men's national team player to join PSV this window. So, that's a big ad for PSV. The NBA is investigating James Harden. The Sixers as league launched inquiry after James Harden called Sixers president Daryl Morey a liar. And then Yahoo reports that the Sixers want picks for Harden as he's eyeing first-round picks for Harden and not stuck on Terrence Mann being part of the deal. Harden intends to skip camp as he currently has no plans of taking part in Sixers training camp and mid-trade demand. How about this? Giannis is open to a Saudi move as he said, of course, he'd consider playing in Saudi Arabia after the NBA for a lot of money. Eric Gordon hit a big three-pointer as he secured the Bahamas win over Argentina and a chance to make the 2024 Paris Olympics. So that's pretty cool. So FIBA gets underway on Friday, so we have to do FIBA on the podcast on Thursday to pick some of these overnight games and such. Sam Howell earns the starting job entering his 2nd season, so congrats to him. Brandon Cooks treated teammates Micah Parsons and Stephon Gilmore to the flight to Seattle before the preseason game, so that's pretty cool. Cubs unlikely to extend Marcus Stroman as the team has no intention to offer Marcus Stroman an extension after the season. He has a rib injury. he was really good in the first half of the year, and then he kind of fell off a cliff and got hurt. So I understand why the Cubs are feeling that way. The Yankees obviously have been in the news for all the wrong reasons. He had a talk with the team and said the turnaround is coming and addressed the team's preparation after their 6th straight loss. Now the losing streak is at 8, and I don't even know when the next time this team's going to win a freaking game is, for crying out loud. And he met with Hal and Cashman to discuss the best moves going forward, but this was after Saturday's game. So good on the front office for meeting with Aaron Boone. I personally think Boone's going to get fired after the season because he's going to be the fall guy. But everyone and their mother thinks that Brian Cashman is a lock to return next season. I don't. I think he's going to resign. I just don't see how he is interested in doing his job. If he cared about his job, he would have made the team better at the trade deadline. And yes, Brian Cashman has not done a good job over the past several years, but I personally believe that if he really cared about his job, he would have made a move. He, to me, seems like a guy that's quit. So I think he's going to resign at the end of the year. That's my conspiracy theory. And then the Yankees will probably go after like David Stearns or somebody like that of the Brewers, and maybe they'll hire Joe Espada as their manager, or maybe Buck Showalter, who knows. But that's my guess for what happens ultimately with the Yankees situation. And then Aaron Boone, of course, said the Red Sox kicked their ass, which they did, except for yesterday, which the Yankees probably still would have lost the game because they did give up a run in the 9th inning, but it looked like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa scored the go-ahead run and the umpires overturned it. But who knows, maybe they went on a walk-off, but yeah. But that was a sums up the season kind of moment for the Yankees. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa looking like he was safe, but he was the umpires called him out. And the Yankees and the Tigers will play in next year's MLB Little League Classic in Williamsport on August 18th, so that's pretty cool. The Yankees never play in that game. It's usually the Phillies, the Nationals, the Pirates, sometimes the Mets, but maybe one year it was the Guardians or the Reds. But that's a different kind of matchup. And then Aaron Judge inks a deal with Michael Jordan as he's the newest member of the Jordan brand family. So that is pretty cool for Aaron Judge. The Ravens signed Jadeveon Clowney, so that's a big pickup for them. Miles Jack is retiring, as he informed the Eagles that he plans to retire after 7 seasons. So that is interesting. Short career for Miles Jack. But he was supposed to be a really, really good player. He had moments in the league, but he just couldn't really stay healthy. Joe Mixon says he's unwilling to speak to certain media outlets due to disrespectful behavior. Yikes. Cowboys rookie DeMarvion Overshawn will miss the season after tearing his left ACL in the preseason game against the Seahawks. That is brutal news for the Cowboys, as they are going to be relying on some young guys to come through for them this year. Bucs backup quarterback John Wolford stretched off the field on Saturday night and taken to the hospital after a neck injury against the Jets. But he had movement in his extremities, so that's good. So hopefully he'll be okay. The Patriots and the Packers suspended their game as both teams agreed to end game early after Isaiah Bolden was stretched off. As Bolden hopefully will be okay as well. Jannard Avery out for the year with knee surgery. That's brutal for the Colts. He was supposed to be one of their pass rushers. Eagles corner Zach McPherson out for the year with a torn Achilles in the preseason game on Thursday. That's another brutal injury. So a lot of, not big names, but, guys that teams were relying on to have impacts are being lost for the season already. And Dolphins running back Devon Akane was carted off the field on Saturday with an undisclosed injury during the preseason game against the Texans. Anthony Edwards really has had a coming out party in FIBA World Cup, 34 points in Team USA's comeback win over Germany yesterday, so that is pretty cool. And Steve Kerr says he's the guy. Some call-ups over the weekend. Angels call-up first-round pick from this year, Nolan Shanuel, after just 21 games in the minors. That's crazy. Mason Wynn got called up for the Cardinals. We talked about that on Friday. He gets his first pick, but what does Peter Alonso do? Throws the ball into the stands as Peter Alonso got heavily booed by the Cardinals fans. And Alonso says he feels horrible, which he should. But he did make it up to him as he got him an autographed bat and a bottle of tequila. That's a nice way to make it up to him. The Reds called up Noelvi Marte. He was a big prospect they got in the Luis Castillo trade. And then the Giants called up Kyle Harrison as he will make his debut on Tuesday against the Phillies. Bo Bichette back from the injured list. So that is good news. For the Jays, Paul DeJong designated for assignment. Brutal news for the Dodgers. Tony Gonsolin out for the year with an elbow injury. It says likely done, but I think he'd be out for the year. He was brutal against the Marlins on Friday. It turns out he was injured. There's a Division II quarterback emerging for the Bears. Tyson Bagent could back up Justin Fields. He says, I think everything is open right now. The Giants released Rodarius Williams, spent 2 years with the team. And then Greedy Williams got cut by the Eagles, which is ironic as him and his brother were cut on the same day. That's just very weird. And the big football news I wanted to talk about, which I predicted was going to happen, Aaron Rodgers making his Jets debut on Saturday against the Giants in the preseason finale. I knew this was going to happen. You knew they were going to play Aaron Rodgers against the Giants. It just felt like something that was going to happen. I think Daniel Jones should play too. And it's just going to be a lot of fun seeing Rodgers go for a series or two against the Giants. So the Giants defense better be ready for Mr. Rodgers. As I know it's preseason action, but it's going to be fun. I think it's one of the more highly anticipated preseason games in a while, personally for me, because it's the team I root for against a guy that the Giants have beaten in big games before with Eli Manning, but it's a guy that's on a new team making his debut for their in-stadium rivals. Sean O'Malley wins UFC 292 as he upsets Aljamain Sterling in the main event. We talked about Cooper Flagg the other day, reclassifying. He had a buzzer beater in the high school summer classic as he forced overtime with the 3-pointer at the buzzer. So that was pretty cool. Brady Stevens, who's the son of Brad Stevens, commits to playing college basketball at Notre Dame, so that is really cool. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. picks Alabama as the team has its first legacy recruit of the Saban era, as Kirkpatrick goes to where his dad played. Four-star defensive lineman Camarion Franklin decides to join Ole Miss and picks them over Florida State and Miami. So that's a good recruit for them for next year. And then Carson Beck named Georgia's starting quarterback as he is picked as Stetson Bennett's replacement as the Bulldogs go for the repeat this year. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So best bet for Friday was a loser. I had the over in the Cub Cardinal game, or the Cub Royal game. I had Cardinals in my head for some reason. So for today's best bet, there was a pick that jumped out at me, and it's a risky pick because these two teams are awful. But I just personally feel that it's going to be a higher scoring game. So I'm going to go with over 8.5 between the Royals and the A's. I'm going to lay only a quarter unit on it, though. So quarter unit, over 8.5 between the Royals and the A's for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We had everything tomorrow. We have a portfolio pick to give out. Tomorrow will be offensive tackle rankings for the show, and we're going to try to get into some Little League World Series. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.